A lawyer submitted a legal brief last year citing 6 cases that did not exist. The cases had proper names, docket numbers, judicial opinions, all fabricated. The lawyer had used an AI assistant, which delivered them with the same flat confidence it uses to summarize a Wikipedia article. No asterisk, no hedge, no, I'm not sure about this one. Just the answer. That story went everywhere, and most people treated it as a cautionary tale about a careless user. But I think the more interesting question is what it reveals about the system itself. Not the lawyer's mistake, the machine's. Because the machine did not malfunction. It did exactly what it was built to do. It gave a confident, fluent, well-formatted answer. That is the behavior. That is working as intended. Here is the part that takes a moment to really land. Current large language models do not have a reliable internal signal for, I don't know. They are trained to predict the next most plausible word, given everything before it. Plausibility is not the same as truth. A fluent, confident sentence and a hesitant, uncertain one are both just patterns, and fluency tends to win. The model has no separate alarm that fires when it is venturing into territory it cannot verify. This is structurally different from how expertise works in people. A doctor who genuinely doesn't know something usually knows that she doesn't know. The gap in her knowledge has a shape. She can feel the edge of it. She'll say, I'd want to run more tests, or that's outside my area. An AI system, by contrast, may produce maximally confident output right at the edge of a cliff because it has no way to feel that the cliff is there. What makes this harder to navigate is that the confident and the uncertain outputs look identical from the outside. The prose style is the same. The sentence structure is the same. The formatting is the same. You might even notice the AI hedges on trivial things. It's worth noting, or some argue, while being completely unhedged on the factual claim that is quietly, completely wrong. That asymmetry should make us pause. There is a name for this dynamic in the research literature. It's called hallucination, though that word does the phenomenon a small disservice. Hallucination implies something florid and detectable, a vision, a rupture in normal perception. What we're actually talking about is quieter and more dangerous. A plausible-sounding answer that is simply wrong, indistinguishable in texture and tone from a plausible-sounding answer that is right. And because it's quiet, the failure mode doesn't announce itself. It arrives in the places where you most want to trust the tool. You're under deadline, you're not an expert in the specific area, and the answer you've received is detailed and coherent and uses exactly the right vocabulary. So you move on. And later, sometimes much later, you discover that the foundation of what you built had a crack in it that the system had no mechanism to detect. It's important to say what this is not. It is not evidence that AI is useless or that you should avoid it. That conclusion would be too easy and too wrong. These systems are genuinely remarkable at an enormous range of tasks, and anyone who pretends otherwise is doing their own kind of motivated distortion. The question is not whether to use them. Most of us already are, in one form or another. The question is how to understand where the risk is concentrated. The risk is concentrated at the boundary of what the model was well trained on. Deep in the center of its training, summarizing common knowledge, generating standard prose, explaining well-documented ideas, errors are less frequent and easier to spot because you already know enough to notice them. But at the edges, obscure legal citations, specialized medical details, very recent events, niche technical specifications, you are often least equipped to verify, and the model is most likely to confabulate. That intersection is where the price gets paid. There have been genuine efforts to address this. Retrieval-augmented systems try to ground answers in actual source documents. Some interfaces now flag low-confidence outputs. Certain models have been refined to say, I don't have reliable information about this more often. These are real improvements, and they matter. But they do not fully solve the structural problem, because the model still cannot always know when it is at its own edge. A system that doesn't know what it doesn't know cannot reliably flag what it doesn't know. This is why the most useful mental shift is not about trust or distrust. It's about verification habits calibrated to stakes. Low stakes, general knowledge, a task you could sanity check yourself, relatively safe. High stakes, specialized domain, a claim you would struggle to verify, something someone else will rely on. That's where you treat the AI output as a first draft from a very capable but occasionally wrong colleague who cannot admit they're guessing. That reframe matters because colleague who can't admit uncertainty is a real human type that we already know how to work with. You don't stop asking them questions, you don't fire them, but you don't submit their work without checking it when the stakes are high. You develop a calibrated relationship. You know where to trust them and where to verify. The same discipline applies here, except you have to build it consciously because the tool's confidence will not tell you when to be careful. What we're really talking about is a new kind of literacy, not about using these tools, but about knowing how to doubt them intelligently, not uniform skepticism, which would waste everything these systems genuinely offer, not uniform trust, which is how a lawyer ends up citing phantom cases in federal court. Something more demanding than either, the habit of asking yourself, for each answer you receive, whether this is the kind of claim the system is likely to get right, and whether the cost of being wrong is something you can afford. That's not a technological problem waiting for a software fix. It's a human problem that technology created, and it sits in the strange gap between what these systems feel like, confident, fluent, authoritative, and what they actually are. Very good at sounding right, with no internal compass for the difference between sounding right and being right. Closing that gap isn't something they can do for us. It turns out that's still our job.